Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm super excited because this outfit, it's the third time I'm filming. This is the third video that I'm filming today, so you've already seen it before, but I'm really excited to be filming 3 videos in one day because my daughter's still napping. And if you're new here, I'm a teacher, so I film on the weekends. And then like during the week, I just post what I filmed on the weekends. I try to film only one day a week and it's Sunday. My laundry's done, my daughter's sleeping. We are here to film. So hello, welcome. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. But today, we're doing like a revisiting video and talking about more makeup I haven't tried. Back in July of 2020, I filmed a video about 5 makeup brands that I've never tried anything from, but I was interested in. So today I'm going to update you on those 5 brands and I'm going to share 5 more brands that I've never tried. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so what I'll do is I will post timestamps down below because the first part of the video is going to be updating you on those 5 brands from July 2020, and then the second half of the video will be new brands that I'm wanting to try. So in my previous video, I said that I had never tried anything from Huda Beauty. And typically toward the end of the year or the beginning of another year, I would talk about makeup brands that I wanted to try something from, and Huda Beauty was always on my list every single time. And I never ended up purchasing anything. So during Christmas of 2020, I caught COVID and had to quarantine away from my husband and my daughter. And I guess he felt bad for me because he went out and purchased some makeup for me. And he got me a gift card as well. But he picked up my first Huda Beauty purchase, which was the Naughty Nude palette. It is this one right here, this shade. Had a ton of people talking. I have not tried this shade, and I've seen other people scoop it out, and I almost feel like to make my palette last longer, I should scoop this out. So definitely excited to finally have some Huda Beauty in my collection. I don't think these eyeshadows are my favorite. They're good, but it's not my favorite formula. I'm enjoying it, just not a favorite. But I mean, I did go on to get 2 more palettes. One was the Wild Jaguar palette. I recently talked about this in 2 videos. I have a first impression up using this palette and a get ready with me answering your questions about being a micro influencer. And then one of my friends gifted me the Chocolate Brown Obsession palette, and this one I have not tried yet. This came out, there was like a little trio. It was the chocolate, caramel, and something else. And this one is the one that spoke to me, untouched. I do find that I enjoy her eyeshadow quality enough. I just don't think it's my favorite, and I do prefer these little minis over the larger one. I also do have a couple products from their Glowish line that I haven't had a chance to try out yet, but I do have the Glowish Multi-Dew Skin Tint in the shade Fairlight and the bronzer in 02 Medium. So haven't tried these yet, so I can't speak to them, but I went from having no Huda Beauty to suddenly having I was gonna say plethora, but it's not a plethora, but a handful of items. I do still really want to try her foundation stick. I think it's like $30-something. I don't know what shade I would be. I don't love foundation sticks, but I'm almost wondering if a foundation stick over the skin tint would be a good combo. So that's still on my wish list, but now we have tried Huda Beauty. Brand number 2 was Pat McGrath. And specifically in that video, I mentioned that I wanted to try her foundation. I heard people raving about it on YouTube, and I wanted to be bougie. But I didn't purchase it because it was $68, and then it went on sale for like 30% off of her website during Black Friday, and I didn't get it. And I regretted it, and I should have. And then it went on sale again, I think it's Sephora. I feel like that's out of order. because I was gonna say I purchased it during the Sephora VIB sale, but that would have been before Black Friday. Either way, I purchased it on sale, but I think I got 25% off instead of 30, and I picked up the foundation. And I am in the shade Light 7. Now, I do enjoy this foundation. Do I enjoy it for the $68? No. Like, if you're gonna get it on sale. But one thing that surprised me is how liquidy this foundation is. I don't know why I was surprised by that, but literally if you pump it out on your hand, it will trickle down your hand because it's that liquidy. I do get more of like a light to medium finish, which I enjoy. I typically go for more of a glowy, like satin type of look, and I can achieve that with primers that I use in this foundation. So definitely enjoying it. It's worth it, but get it on sale. I also went on to purchase one of her blushes. When she finally came out with a blush, I had to try it out, and this is in the shade Nymphette, and I really do like the formula. It's very hard to get open, but I really do like the formula. It leaves more of a satin finish, which I enjoy because I have dry skin. I do know that she has some trios coming out for holiday that I have my eye on, but I am now part of the Mama Pat train. The third brand I mentioned in my video was Dominique Cosmetics, and I mentioned specifically wanting to try the Latte palette. Now, Dominique Cosmetics is Kristen Dominique's brand. She is a YouTuber. I watched her before Dominique Cosmetics, and ever since the Latte palette launched, I wanted it. Part of why I didn't get it is because it wasn't limited edition. So I felt like new stuff was coming out, limited edition, holiday, and I would like jump to the new and not purchase something that ended up being a little bit older, but it was still a palette that I knew I wanted to get. So when I came back to YouTube in 2020, I went out and purchased the Latte palette, and I am so glad that I did because this is definitely a staple in my collection. It's very neutral. It's just like an everyday go-to eyeshadow palette for me. The mattes are super blendable. The mattes are super blendable. The shimmer shades are gorgeous. They leave a nice like pop on the lid, which I go for. So definitely glad to have this in my collection. But I also went on to purchase 2 of her lipsticks. I do have 2 of them. This one right here is in the shade Pretty Natural, and it says Dominique on it, and the D and the O are completely gone, and we are into the M. This is definitely a very neutral lipstick, and I find it hard to find neutrals. It's this one right here. This is Kylie Cosmetics Malibu. I talked about it in a different video, but I feel like it's hard to find neutrals that look good on my skin tone and don't pull too orange, and this one does that for me. It doesn't pull orange, but it's not too brown, but it's not a pinky nude. It's just very nude. So loving that. It's one of my favorite lipsticks, and I'm a fan of Dominique Cosmetics. The next one is Elsie Cosmetics. Now, Elsie Cosmetics was a brand that Jaclyn Hill talked about a ton before I took my YouTube break. If you are new here, I had my daughter in 2019. I've been filming since the end of 2015. Had my daughter in 2019, went over a year without filming, and came back like in summer of 2020. And so before my YouTube break, Jaclyn Hill was like, everybody loved her before Lipstick Gate, and she was raving about Elsie Cosmetics. I wanted to try them out. I think there was like a primer and a foundation, a beauty sponge, and I just don't hear anybody talking about Elsie Cosmetics anymore. I never went on to purchase anything, and I would say at this point in time, I don't have any plans to. It's not a brand that I'm interested in, and I just feel like I have so many other makeup items and brands on my wish list that Elsie isn't one of them. I also talked about the brand Lawless, which you can find at Sephora, and I wanted to try their liquid lipsticks because Samantha March talked about one that was called like George, I think. Is that right? That sounds not right, but that's all I'm coming up with. So she had a lipstick shade that she talked about a ton, liquid lipstick, and I love liquid lipsticks, wanted to try it out, so went onto the Sephora website, and I ended up purchasing Cameron, which was a lighter shade. George was deeper, Cameron was lighter, and it gave me the line in your lips, and it did it fast. Like, I applied it before a video, and by the end of the video, I had that line there. So I ended up decluttering that liquid lipstick. And now when I go online to Sephora, I'm gonna look right now. When I go online to Sephora and click on the brand Lawless, I don't see those liquid lipsticks anymore. I see lip glosses, bullet lipsticks, eyeshadow palettes, mascara, primer, blush, foundation, no more liquid lipsticks. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if she was getting bad reviews on her liquid lipsticks or if they just weren't selling or if she took them down to reformulate, but they are no longer there and I didn't enjoy it. So Lawless, I'm watching them. There's nothing currently on my wish list from them, but I'm gonna watch them and keep my eyes opened. But yeah, my first experience wasn't the best. Okay, so now we are going to talk about 5 more brands that I've never tried, but they're on my wish list and I want to try them. The first being the brand COSSIS. Now COSSIS is found at Sephora and it's a clean beauty brand. One item I really want to try is the COSSIS Tinted Face Oil. I've heard Karen Harris talking about that. It is the Best of Beauty Allure winner for 2019. I'm not into the skin tints, but a tinted face oil sounds like it's gonna be lightweight, sounds like it's gonna be super hydrating, and I have dry skin. So that's on my wish list. I'd definitely be interested in trying that. I also want to try the concealer. Now, I don't know what shade of concealer I would be in. I'd have to spend some more time looking at that to figure it out, but I've heard good things about the concealer. It's $28, which is still expensive for a concealer if you're comparing it to drugstore, but other concealers are in the $30 range, so a little bit more affordable, and I've heard good things about it. And then I feel like there's a bronzer. Let me scroll and see. Okay, I thought there was a bronzer people were talking about. So it's the Sun Show Moisturizing Baked Bronzer. Now, I don't know what shade I would get. I feel like I'm drawn to light, but light might be too light, and medium looks too orange, and dark looks too dark. So I don't know, maybe they could come out with some more options other than just the 3, because I've heard good things about it, but like I said, I don't even think that I would enjoy light because I think it would be too light. But anyway, COSSIS is a brand that's on my radar that I would like to try. Another brand that you can find at Sephora that has caught my eye is the brand Saie. Now, they recently launched a Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. It's clean and plant positive. You can find it at Sephora. It's $28, and it's one of those creamy, I almost said putty bronzer because of the e.l.f., but I don't think it's putty. I think it's just a creamy, a cream bronzer, but in the jar where you could get a little bit out of the jar and put that on your skin. I'm not a huge fan of the creams. If you're not new here, you know that. I'm not a huge fan of the creams, but that caught my eye. I know that they currently have a tinted moisturizer with SPF 35. Not a huge fan of tinted moisturizers in general, but that is something that I've seen out of the corner of my eye. I've heard people talking about it. It seems like the brand Saie has a lot of creams and liquids, which I'm not into. So I don't know how much of the brand I will try, but I keep I'm torturing myself. I keep trying to like creams and liquids, and it's just not happening. So I don't know if I'll get around to trying out the brand Saie, but I know that people have said good things about them. They just have a lot of like creams and liquids. So we'll see. I haven't tried anything yet, but it's a maybe. GOSS is a brand that I hear like floating around the beauty space very often, and nothing of his has caught my eye yet. However, if you caught one of my recent Pass Grab or Undecided videos, I don't know when this video is going up, so there could have been some since then, but I'm wearing the same teacher shirt, same outfit, so just, you know, just look for this makeup in my feed and you can see where I talk about it. There's a new holiday palette that's coming out that has caught my eye, but I've heard a ton of people talking about GOSS, about his eyeshadows. I'm trying to find his bronzers. Here are his bronzers. People talked about them, his brushes. So I'm interested in trying him out. I don't know if I mentioned, you can find him on Beautylish. I would want to try either like a bronzer or an eyeshadow palette. I don't really need to spend the money on brushes, and his lipsticks aren't what I'm hearing buzzed about, but at some point, I would like to try him out to see what the hype is all about. I just don't know when. So if you've tried anything from Wayne Goss, let us know your thoughts down below. Have you tried the bronzers? Have you tried any of his eyeshadow palettes? I want to hear it because he's on my wish list. Okay, so another brand, it is an influencer brand, and it is LUNAR Beauty. Okay, I got nervous because I have 2 camera batteries. One is horrible. It's the one that I got with this camera like several years ago, and it dies all the time. And then I recently purchased a new one off Amazon, and that one lasts forever. But I started filming with the Amazon one and I was charging it, and the other one that had been fully charged just died on halfway through my 3rd video. Anyway, we have 2 more brands that I want to talk about, one being a YouTuber brand, and it is LUNAR Beauty by Manny MUA. Now, my friend Heather Austin loves LUNAR Beauty, loves Manny MUA, has a ton from his collection. I haven't seen anything from his line that has like caught my attention yet. Nothing that has drawn me in yet, but I know Heather really likes his lip glosses, so like I'm interested in some point at trying those. I just don't want to purchase like a lip gloss. I know he did come out with a palette, the Eternal Eclipse, that kind of caught my eye because it was more neutral, but it had deep blue vibes. It just wasn't fully speaking to me, and I felt like if it's not fully speaking to me, I don't want to purchase it just to try it. So I'm kind of waiting for him to come out with something that like catches my eye, and I know I'd like to try like maybe a palette and some of the lip glosses. We just aren't there yet. So he's gonna remain on this list for now. Okay, so the last brand that I have not tried yet, but I'm interested in, is the brand Glossier. Now, I typically hear Kate the Great talking about Glossier. It's not like a viral brand on YouTube, but I know Kate has talked about it. She really likes their cloud paints. I've heard a couple other people talk about them. The cloud paints aren't really my cup of tea, but I've heard several people talk about the boy brow, and I have thin, sparse eyebrows, and I have to draw these in every day, so I wouldn't be able to just go in with the boy brow, but I feel like if it's volumizing, I could like pencil in and then go in with the boy brow and add some volume. There's also a serum that I think I saw Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun talk about. I'm pretty sure it's the Future Dew, which is like an oil serum hybrid. And I think I heard her talking about it in a skincare video. She has dry skin and her skin looked very like hydrated and oily and glassy. My skin never looks like that. I want my skin to look like that. And I think she talked about the Glossier serum doing that for her skin. So those are 2 products that I'm interested in trying. It's just when it's a brand that you have to purchase, like you can't go in store and look at stuff, like where is Glossier? On their website? I can't go into Sephora and look at them. Can't go into Ulta and look at them. When I have to purchase just online, I feel like I'm less likely to pick up the products. But they're still on my brand wish list of brands that I want to try. Okay, but that is going to wrap up this video. Updates on 5 brands I had not tried as of July 2020 and 5 more brands that I still have not tried but I am eyeing. So I would love to know your thoughts down below. What are some brands you haven't purchased anything from that you want to try out in the new year, in the end of 2021 into 2022? I would love to know. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye. So